I'm here today to talk about my dad, Carlton Smith.
April the 12th of 2009, around 4:55 a.m. in the morning, Easter Sunday morning, Greensboro police responded to 510 Farragut Street, reference a shooting. When they arrived, they located Carlton Douglas Smith with suffering from a gunshot wound. He was later pronounced deceased from his wounds.
At first, had a negative effect on me because I kind of lashed out on everyone. Although my mom is alive, you know, my dad, his parents raised me, so I was majorly with my dad.
It was learned that Mr. Smith was walking to his vehicle with several friends when they were approached by a subject who at first asked for a ride. The subject later produced a firearm and shot and killed Carlton Smith. The subject demanded the keys and access to a 2008 Dodge Charger. It appeared to be sort of midnight blue in color with 30-day tags. This vehicle was stolen, and the suspect then left the scene driving that vehicle. Police did numerous interviews, got a description of the vehicle, put out an alert, and 5 days later in South Carolina, in Darlington County, the vehicle was located on fire. And this occurred in the Turnpike Road area of Darlington County, South Carolina. We were notified that the vehicle had been recovered, and we sent crime scene investigators to that location to gather evidence there, as well as we gathered evidence at the scene at 510 Farragut Street.
For a while, I lived in fear. For a long time, I lived in fear because it's scary to know that basically someone can get away with murder. You don't know who it is.
Carlton was loved by his family and friends. Some of the friends were with him the night he was murdered in Greensboro.
I remember like us always going to breakfast before school. I remember one time, like when I first was trying for my permit, we were driving down English Road in High Point, and it's like a 35 speed limit, and I was going like 55 or something down English Road, and he was on the phone, and he was like, "Let me get off this phone for this girl kill me and her." I was speaking to someone recently about like my memory of my dad, because it's been in 12 years now, so sometimes I feel like my memory gets really faint. So I always make sure that I continue to look at pictures and just try to remember things as best as I can. My dad was a great person. He didn't bother anyone. He loved his children. He was a great provider. And my family deserves to know what happened.
In June of 2014, Governor Pat McCrory issued a governor's reward for this case for the arrest and conviction, a $5,000 reward. Crime Stoppers of Guilford County, Greensboro has also offered $5,000 for the arrest and conviction of the person responsible for this murder. That's a total of $10,000. You can call 336-373-1000 with the Crime Stopper tip. If you have tips and you want to talk to myself, please feel free to call 336-373-2255. Leave your information and I will get back with you.
You know, this thing as far as snitching or whatever that thing get, you know, things like this really affect people. People deal with things like this daily. Some people are not as strong as I am. Some people don't come back from these type of things. Some people let these things overpower them. So when you think about that, think about somebody's life. Think about your own life. Think about what you would want someone to do if it happened to you. If you know something, say something. It's never too late. This has been 12 years ago, but it still feels like yesterday. This is something that my family is dealing with daily. So if you know something, say something.